Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we have a very special guest with us, and he's an engineer by profession. He writes software and doing project management for test and inspection system, and today we are very honored to have him as our guest. So thank you so much for coming.
Hello.
And it's really my pleasure when I told you about the project that the small project of mine, Help My People, if you would like to be a part of it, and thank you so much for accepting the offer.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. And today we are going to learn a lot from him about his entire journey of how he started his education from beginning till the end until how he got his job and everything. So I'm really excited to hear everything. So without wasting any further time, let's go. So could you please introduce yourself? Tell us more about yourself.
Yeah, as you already explained, I'm an engineer. I have studied electrical and information technology engineering, and currently I'm working at a company developing test and inspection systems for sensors, and yeah, that's basically
your introduction.
My introduction.
Okay. So could you please tell us more about your childhood education?
Yeah, sure. First I went to kindergarten, and after the kindergarten, which only explains some basic stuff about life or teaches some basic stuff about life for children, I went to Grundschule, which is elementary school, and basically every German goes to kindergarten and then to elementary school to learn the basic stuff. In elementary school you learn basic math, you learn German, you learn how to write and how to read and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty much the most basic education for small children, so that they know the basics for their further school and in general life.
And how was your further education after your primary childhood education?
My further education was Realschule. I went to Realschule, which is the mid difficulty in the German school system. In Germany we have Hauptschule, which is lowest difficulty, then we have Realschule, which is mid difficulty, and then we have Gymnasium, which is highest difficulty. And yeah, basically I went there from I think 5th grade to 10th grade, and further learned German, mathematics, a little bit of information technology, but not very deep into the topics. English. I also had a second foreign language, it was French. So yeah, that was basically the main topics of my Realschule education. During Realschule it's also mandatory to do a small internship for like 2 weeks. And during this I went to an optometrist, which where I gathered some useful knowledge, which is still useful in my everyday life today. So yeah, that's basically about my Realschule. After Realschule I went to Fachoberschule, which is further education. It's not mandatory, but in my path it was to get a degree which enables me to go studying.
Okay, interesting. I also mentioned that you did an internship, right? So how old were you back then when you did your first internship?
My first internship, the 2 weeks internship at Realschule, it was I was probably around 15 or so. Yeah.
And was it compulsory from the school, or you just did it as a volunteer?
Yeah, it was compulsory from the school.
Okay, so it was just for 2 weeks and it was compulsory from the school, and was it paid or it was not paid?
No, that was not paid.
Ah, okay, just to get an exposure and everything. But that's quite nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you also told me that you pursued industrial engineering during your bachelor's. So I was just curious, what motivated you to pursue this field?
Yeah. Basically, my further education at Fachoberschule was with the main topic of economics. I also did an internship during that period, which was 1 year. 11th grade was internship plus going to school. Like 3 days a week was internship and 2 days a week was school. And yeah, basically I got a good knowledge of economics, and also during the internship, which was in a company, I learned about writing offers, general office stuff, and how a company works in general. So yeah, that was a 1 year internship. And to come back to your first question about how I decided to study industrial engineering, during that period where I went to an economics school, I realized, I also still like technology. I like technology since I'm a child. So I decided maybe a mixed study is nice. So I went to my nearest university, which is a University of Applied Science, oder in Deutsch Hochschule, früher Fachhochschule, and started my study of industrial engineering, which is basically, in this case it was 1/3 economics and 2/3 technology.
Okay, and you also mentioned that you did internship in your bachelor's. So was it compulsory as well, like before, or?
Yes, after writing all my exams, it was compulsory to do an internship before I can start my bachelor thesis. And that internship I did at a company, and yeah, basically they had job advertisements back then in the internet, and yeah, it wasn't a job advertisement for an internship, but I wrote an application anyway. So I was like, maybe they would take me for an internship. And yeah, in the end, I talked to them on the phone first, and afterwards I got invited to an interview.
Was it a personal interview? You have to go to the spot, or was it?
Yes,
online?
exactly. It was a personal interview.
Okay.
And they accepted me for the internship, and also offered to write my thesis there later on if the internship is fine and everything.
So basically, internship was for 1 year, and if everything works well on both the side, then you can start writing. You started writing.
No, not for 1 year. It was only for I think, don't let me lie, it was most part of 1 semester, and the end of the semester was planned for the bachelor thesis in my curriculum.
Okay, so it depends on the course what you choose. Everything is very specific, right?
Exactly. It's very clearly written how a course is constructed out of modules, and which time periods are requested for different stuff. There was a special time period for internship, and then there was a special time period for bachelor thesis. So everything was predefined, and I had to meet these schedules.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So how did you what did you study in your master?
After my bachelor, I decided maybe in my master I should focus even more on technology. So in my master I studied electrical and information technology engineering. Once again, in my bachelor it was industrial engineering with that main topic, and in master I decided only that main topic, to study only that main topic. And in that course the subtopic was production automation.
Okay, and then you also mentioned that you did a Werkstudent during your master. So I was just wondering, how was the application procedure?
Yeah, during my master I was a working student, that's correct. During my master I decided I somehow want to stretch it a little bit and get some experience in the field. So I applied as a working student, I got knowledge of the job offering during a job fair where I met HR persons of that company. And they basically told me, yeah, we have these job offerings also for working students, and you can apply, and then maybe you get invited for an interview, and afterwards maybe you can work here. So I applied, I got invited, and afterwards I worked there.
Okay, so it was also a face-to-face interview. You had
Exactly,
to go there.
yeah.
Okay, and what were the documents that time? Your CV was there, motivation letter?
Yes, exactly. I had to write a motivation letter, I had to list a CV, and also I had to attach my degrees to show that I have experience, that I have knowledge in my field and everything, so that the employer gets a good idea of who I am, what knowledge I have, and so on.
And what is your advice for motivation letter according to your experience?
From my experience, it's important to make a connection between what's the job profile and what's your experience and knowledge. And basically you have to inform or make the employer get an idea of how or the things you can offer match the job position.
Exactly, how to convince them among all the candidates.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yes. So how did you apply for a working student? That one we have already talked about.
Yeah.
So let's go to the next one. How did you find a topic for your master thesis?
For my master thesis, it was a little bit easier because I did at the company where I also wrote my bachelor thesis.
Connection.
Yes. I already knew the people there and also had a good connection to my former manager there. So we decided, yeah, we will write a master thesis. The company is benefiting, I'm benefiting, and the main task was to find a topic which is nice for the company, which is nice for me, and also which is approved by the professor who is guiding the master thesis by Hochschule.
So basically it's like a triangle. You should be fine with the topic, the professor should be fine, the university should be fine, like a triangle.
Exactly.
Then only it can go weiter.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes I also heard that for the internships or for master thesis, they already it's already directly there.
Yes, in some cases the company provides a topic directly. And if the university is fine with the topic and you are fine with the topic, you can just take it. So you don't have to form your own thesis, basically.
Okay. And how was your overall experience with your master thesis?
My overall experience was that it's pretty labor intensive.
Indeed.
Yeah, because you have to form the thesis topic, then you have to form a structure, then you have to put in the work to read all the literature, then you have to write it all down, and it takes a lot of time.
Patience.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, and it's a lot of hard work to write a thesis which is somehow fitting all aspects.
Exactly. Yes. So after you finish your thesis, you got a job, right?
Yes,
and
exactly.
How was the application process with the job?
The application process with the job was quite interesting because once again I went to the job fair.
Connection again?
Yeah, and then I met the HR people of the company again, where I was a working student. And then they said, you need to apply for sure, and then I applied, but I also told them, the job offerings you have are
fitting you?
Not perfectly fitting me. And then they looked in their company which position could fit me.
Interesting.
And then they offered me a job, and I took that offer, and I worked there for a little bit more than 3 years. And
Okay, and then since you mentioned that you worked there a little bit more than 3 years, after that, could you please tell us why did you change your company and yeah?
Yeah, basically I wanted to gather more experience in another company and wanted to see new processes, new products, and yeah, overall I wanted to just experience something new again.
Something new.
Yeah.
In life.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so we have talked about you from beginning till the end about your entire education, and right now you are in a very good position, in a good company, a good job, but behind every successful man there are struggles. And could you please tell us some struggles that you had in your life, for example, like an experience where it was extremely difficult for you, and how did you overcome that struggle?
Yeah, for sure. Basically, all my studies were a struggle because I somehow decided to study one of the fields with the highest quote of failing students. And from my own experience, back then industrial engineering was started by I think 100 to 120 students, and from these 120 students, I know of only maybe 15 to 25 who finished the studies.
Couldn't finish it.
Yeah, the rest didn't finish the studies, or they decided they want to study something different and so on. So yeah, there were some quite difficult and hard exams, but nothing impossible if you took the time to study properly and to prepare properly for the exams. Then it was manageable and even good manageable. But nevertheless, it was sometimes a struggle and very difficult.
A little bit roller coaster sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes indeed.
But never giving up is the key.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so like I have last question for you. What advice would you like to give to the unemployed youths in Nagaland, since this project is about unemployed youths, especially focusing to them?
For the unemployed youth, basically, from an economic perspective speaking, people in general have demands for many different things. It may range from having something to eat to the newest iPhone or something like that. And that's not only for products, that's also for services. Some people need help with something or have a special request that someone's doing something, and that's basically the demand. And oftentimes people are paying good money for other people who are meeting that demand. So if you have a skill, or if you can manage to get skills which are needed, which are in demand, then you can fulfill these demands with your offer and basically make a living out of that. So from generally speaking, from a economics perspective. So basically there are chances everywhere and opportunities everywhere. You just need to have an open eye and put in sometimes a lot of work and hard work. But in the end, most of the time it pays out. Exactly.
As long as we give our best and keep on trying, then it really pays in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay, and in case there is anybody who is interested to come here in Germany for studies or work, would you suggest them to learn the language, and why?
Yes, I think it's nearly mandatory to learn the language, because even if you study in international course, yeah, you still get letters from public offices which are written in German, and you have to do different processes which are in German, and oftentimes people only speak German or speak English not so well, and then there's a lot of stuff lost in translation. And yeah, in general, it's better to have at least a basic understanding of German to be able to communicate with people. Also, if you're working in a company, if it's a big company or if it's even an international company, a lot of stuff is in English and some documents are in English, but in everyday life, German is the main language which is spoken in companies, and it's very rarely that a company or that only English is spoken in a company.
I completely agree with you. Because last but not the least, I would like to mention something. I came here in Germany with an English taught program, and I thought okay, I will learn German when I come here, but then I realized the importance of language and I end up learning the language. So what you said is absolutely right. Yes, so thank you so much once again. It was indeed really a pleasure, and thank you so much for really taking the time.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it was really nice talking with you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much guys for being very patient and staying till the end. So I wish you all a good day, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Bye.
Tschüss. Willkommen zu Spaß mit Flaggen.